I met John through Emily, through his wife, when we did the Adjustment Bureau together, and we really hit it off, and we started having all these conversations about work, and we decided pretty early on that we wanted to find a project to do together. And so one night at dinner, he came to me with this idea that he'd had and that he'd already been working on.
What kind of idea did you present to Matt at that time?
I had always wanted to write a movie about American identity, and my dad grew up in a steel mill town just outside of Pittsburgh, Natrona Heights, and I don't know, the way he talked about the town was just simple in the best way, not a cliche way. It was just about faith in friends, faith in family, and faith that tomorrow would be a better day, and I just felt like with the political landscape headed where it headed, I just wanted to bring it back to a conversation about people. And so this idea of natural gas was an incredible backdrop of, you know, whether you believe whichever side of the issue, there's huge potential gain and huge potential loss.
Why did the decision made not to direct it yourself and to start working with Gus?
Yeah, why was that?
It was the worst moment in the whole process, actually. It was December 15th of last year, and I remember it because it was when all of my work for the year ended, and I'd done a big science fiction movie that had gone long, and so I'd been away from my kids and my wife, and then I had this intensive kind of 2 weeks of press to get the Cameron Crowe movie out that I did, and it ended on December 15th. I did The Daily Show, was the last thing I did, and it was on my calendar as, okay, that's when I can kind of relax. And I realized that night when I went home after we got the kids down, and I sat there for about an hour and realized, like, I have to go into pre-production January 1st if I'm going to direct it, and I can't do that.
So you called Uncle Gus?
No, I called John.
Okay.
and had to tell John, because we're producing the movie as well, and had a producer's conversation that was really horrible, you know, because I'd put him in a really tricky spot, because, you know, he said, couldn't you have told me a month ago? And I said, I'm sorry, it was too selfish to do that.
It was the day before the entire town went on Christmas break, so I said, I can't get an agent on the phone, let alone
a director. He's like, we can't even get our agents on the phone. And it was rough, but I knew that it was the right thing for the movie, and I knew it was the right thing for my life. And, you know, the last thing he wanted as a producer or an actor was a half-distracted director.
Let's talk about the directing thing a little bit. Has it come this close to you directing a movie before, or is this?
This was the closest.
This was the closest. Yeah. And then tell me how you got to Gus then.
Well, the next morning we were leaving to go down to Florida for the holidays, and I was on the plane, feeling horrible, and I emailed Gus and told him everything that had happened. And I told him there's a script, and I think it's great, and I'm really proud of it.
Had you been talking to him at all about it?
No, I hadn't. This was the first. It was like a cold call. I was just like, I just want you to know that this is going on. Would you? And are you doing anything? And he wrote back, no, I love your writing. Just send it to me. And they were telling us to turn our. It was the Alec Baldwin moment on the plane, you know. and I'm looking up like
that, right?
Really, I just have to send this one thing. This is really important. This isn't Words with Friends, okay? I gotta send this. And I attached the script from my BlackBerry and sent it, and then turned the phone off. And we landed in Florida a couple hours later, and I turned it on, and Gus had read it, and he said, I want to do it. And it was literally. And I told John, as the producer, you know, it was really a high moment for me. The best thing that I did on the movie was fire myself as the director.
Can you tell us what the experience of making that movie was like, especially, you know, based on what you guys have all done since? Was this like a kind of a very pure time? Was it really fun compared to like the way things have gotten in the film business, or was it like what was the?
Making Promised Land, this one we just did, was exactly the same as making Good Will Hunting, and that's just because it's all. Everybody takes their cue from the director, and Gus just has a certain way of being and living and working that is very relaxed and puts people at ease and puts people in a situation where it's all planned out, so everybody gets a chance to kind of do their best work. Every department feels really supported, and it's just there's absolutely no drama on the, you know, on the behind-the-scenes front. Like, it would be the worst documentary to follow us around as we made a movie.
The making of a really easy movie,
yeah.
No problem.
And it seems deceptively easy.
Right.
And I've been on, obviously, the other kinds of sets it just seems like there's no way a movie can ever come out of this process.
You've obviously done a lot of politically charged work in the past. How is this different, and what was your understanding of some of the underlying issues in the movie before you signed on to direct it?
I had never heard of hydraulic fracking before I had the script, and I think the day after there was a earthquake near Akron, Ohio, and they were suggesting that it was because the drilling operation was right there where the earthquake was. So it was in the news. It had been in the news already. So I was absorbing information mostly from the screenplay, and talking with John and Matt about it, and then talking with people in Pittsburgh about it as well.
Are you guys ready for the conversation in terms of there's a lot of emotional content, or just a lot of emotional feelings around this issue, which is both expressed in the movie, but also obviously out there in the real world. So.
Yeah, well, look, when we were shooting it, guys would come up,
Where were you shooting it? Where was it?
Pennsylvania, outside Pittsburgh. And people would come up, the first day we were shooting, these guys came up and they said, is this movie about fracking? Like, you shouldn't say anything bad about that. That's really good. We need this here. We need this, And that's why it's so interesting to us, because the stakes are so high. And you go and you drive around and talk to these people, first of all, they all know what's going on. They all have an opinion about it, and it is life or death. For a lot of these family farms, this is a lifeline to them. This is keeping the farm in their hands, and so it's a very complicated issue, and so the feelings are very, very strong.
One of the aspects of the movie is that you're obviously someone who works for an energy company, and as is Frances McDormand, and you guys are not classic villains in the movie. I mean, you're normal, kind of slightly okay people.
Yeah, no. The idea was to try to present people. All the characters should feel like people you know. They should feel like real people to you. I mean, Gus made a decision early on that none of us wear makeup. Like no, I don't want any artifice.
I thought that was a mistake.
Believe me, me too.
I had to fire 8 people.
But like Fran's character, for instance, is she keeps saying it's just a job. It's and you see that her allegiance is to her teenage kid who's back home in Houston, and she's like, it's a good job, and that's why she's doing it. And this is us. It should feel like all of us.
What's your sort of mindset at this point? What's the next thing? You're sort of, obviously you got to go around, talk about it, promote it, that kind of thing. But just in terms of what's the concern?
Obviously we have a huge investment, of time and emotion and energy in the movie, and so, you want people to see it, and so the question is, with a movie of this size, it was made for $18 million, or a little less actually, because we came in under budget, but that's not, it's not a Jason Bourne movie, so you don't have the marketing budget that.
Right.
So to get the word out, you do a lot of Q&As and you're hoping for good reviews. That's a big part of it. I mean, and the reviewers know that of films of this size, live and die a lot of the time based on reviews, and book theaters based on the how strong the reviews are. And then you're on the phone talking to the theater owner, in Coolidge Corner, going look, man, come on, you got to do me a favor, keep it in there.
You don't really do that.
You don't really want Lincoln. Come on. Come on, everybody's got that.
Good. Well, thank you guys for coming tonight.
Thanks, you guys.